Good morning. Hello. Welcome to the Career Thrivers Show, where we are navigating the immigrant journey in the United States from survival to thriving. I am Rhonda Douglas Charles, your host and career strategist. This December, we are focusing on the three characteristics of Advent and Advent waiting, which are expectant, making space, and of course, being hopeful. Today, we'll also take a brief look at the lives of immigrants in the US in 2023, uncovering the reality, some lessons learned, and what's needed to transition from survival to thriving in the new year. So, thank you to everyone joining the replay. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So, let's begin with the Advent waiting, as that's our theme for this month. Advent waiting is expectant. And being expectant means having or showing an excited feeling that something is about to happen, especially something pleasant and interesting. For immigrants, that expectant feeling is something that's very familiar. I am inviting us to tap into the parts of that feeling, though, that's positive and pleasant and interesting in the coming year. The other thing about Advent waiting is that it requires making space in our lives, decluttering of physical, mental, and emotional spaces. It may mean saying no to certain things, but it can also mean asking for what you need. Don't assume how anyone will respond to you. Ask for what you need. And finally, Advent waiting is feeling hopeful. It is being inspired with optimism about a future event. And we are all waiting for Christmas, but we are all waiting for the new year and we are all waiting for our future. So, as we think about 2024, I invite us to take a look back at 2023. And I found some very interesting findings and statistics in the 2023 KFF LA Times survey of immigrants in the US, which was released in September of this year. So, according to the survey, the demographics of the US, immigrants constitute 16% of the US adult population. And that racial breakdown is 44% Hispanic, 27% Asian, 17% white, and 8% black. And that's for a total of 16% of the US population. The top countries of origin are Mexico with 24%, India with 6%, China with 5%, the Philippines with 5% as well, El Salvador with 3%, and Vietnam with 3%. When it comes to the reasons for migrating, the main reasons for coming to the US are better work and educational opportunities. People are seeking a better future for their children, and people are seeking more rights and freedoms. 75% of the respondents to this survey cited better economic and job opportunities. 68% were looking for a better future for their children, and 62% for educational opportunities. 31% of them were escaping unsafe and violent conditions, with a higher percentage among likely undocumented immigrants and immigrants from Central America. When it comes to those experiences and the challenges that they face, 78% report a better financial situation. 79% also reported better educational opportunities. 75% reported an improved employment situation, and 65% of immigrants feel safer in the United States. Of course, there are high levels of discrimination faced, especially in the workplace and in healthcare. About half of working immigrants feel overqualified for their job. 34% of them report being criticized or insulted for speaking a non English language. And 33% report being told to go back to where they came from. with higher levels of discrimination being reported among Black and Hispanic immigrants. Now, when it comes to workplace experience, most immigrants are employed, with half of them reporting facing workplace discrimination. 44% of immigrants report unfair treatment at work, including pay disparities and fewer advancement opportunities. When it comes to Black and Hispanic workers, 56% of Black immigrants and 55% of Hispanic immigrants report higher levels of workplace discrimination. With regard to economic hardships, one third of all immigrants report difficulties affording basic needs, and this rises among lower income households and parents. Of course, we also have concerns, and those concerns surround detention or deportation among likely undocumented immigrants, and lack of information about U.S. immigration laws affect a significant portion of the immigrant population. Language and cultural barriers. About half of all immigrants have limited English proficiency, and they face language barriers in various settings. And immigrants with limited English proficiency are more likely to report workplace discrimination. But having said all of that heavy stuff, I want us to look at the outlook and perspectives. One thing I admire about immigrants is the ability to be persistent, the ability to find the positive. The majority of immigrants express a better standard of living compared to their parents and optimism for their children's future. 3 out of the 4 immigrants in this survey would choose to come to the US again, with a majority of them planning to stay. These statistics offer a comprehensive understanding of the diverse challenges and experiences faced by immigrants in the United States. But let's speak about going from survival to thriving. As career thrivers, we aim to move beyond surviving. And for me, immigrants are just that, career thrivers. And this involves understanding the unique barriers immigrants face in the workplace, but also using targeted strategies to overcome them. And so we look at career planning, skill development, and understanding the US culture. So let's start with career planning. When it comes to planning your career, often we think of a well tailored resume as your first step. But before compiling your resume and putting it together, you really need to identify your target. It's not just about listing your experiences, it is about highlighting how those experiences align with the job you want. And keeping in mind your international experience is an asset. You want to showcase your global perspectives and your adaptability. I know very often we are told to leave that behind, and I'll address that shortly. Networking is another key. In the United States, who you know can be as important as what you know. And even more important is who needs to know you. So, you definitely want to start building your professional network through avenues such as LinkedIn, your local community groups, and your professional associations. These connections can provide insider information on how job openings work, and they can also offer referrals to you. And don't forget about the informational interview. It is such a powerful tool to learn about a company or an industry and make connections without the pressure of a job interview. And of course, getting an informational interview often involves the relationships that you're building through your networks. The second thing we want to look at is skill development and leveraging your existing skills while adapting and acquiring new ones. First off, as I mentioned earlier, you bring a wealth of skills from your home country. You want to identify these skills and understand how they transfer to your desired job and your desired job market. And yes, you may have been advised to leave your life behind. May have been advised that your prior experience is not relevant in your new country. In the last week, I've been conducting mock interviews, specifically with medical assistants and nurses. I'm going to tell you about three of them. Two of them came to the US with prior medical training. I should say all of them came to the US with prior medical training. The first was a nursing assistant that was trained in Linden, Guyana. The second, an LPN credentialed as a practical nurse in Kingston, Jamaica. And the third, a midwife who successfully completed the undergraduate midwifery program in Pakistan. It's an undergrad degree program, and she practiced for 7 years before migrating to the US. In all three cases, they acquired a survival job, either as a CNA or home health aide. And of course, now they are currently seeking to move on from those roles. They were all told, or they had all made the decision to put their prior experience on a shelf. When I met them, none of those experiences were on their resumes, and they were hesitant to reference them in the interviews. And really, it was not until the after interview feedback portion that I was able to pull this information out of them. I want you to not underestimate the skills that you bring with you as an immigrant. And also, don't underestimate your bilingual or your multilingual abilities, your problem solving abilities, as well as your adaptability. I implore you to, of course, get the English language skills that you need, but do not think that you have to totally abandon the skills that you come with. Yes, it is about acquiring new skills as these healthcare workers are doing. You want to consider additional certifications, additional courses, or trainings. Get micro credentials, especially in areas where you see a gap. There are many community colleges and online platforms that offer courses in business English, technical skills, and industry specific knowledge for whatever area you choose. You also have access to LinkedIn Learning. It is free and easy to access with your library card and PIN. Otherwise, if you have the premium LinkedIn, the premium version of LinkedIn, you also have access to LinkedIn Learning. So I'm going to put the link to, well, the to LinkedIn Learning in the comment section. And again, you can access LinkedIn Learning for free via your local public library once you have your library card and your PIN. Your local library is also a great resource for training programs. Keep in mind that continuous learning is key. In today's ever evolving job market, you definitely want to keep on top of your skills. Stay curious and keep upgrading your skill set. So, the third area that we were going to cover today is understanding US work culture and navigating those cultural nuances, especially communication styles. And I hark back to those interviews again. Understanding US work culture is crucial, and this includes both the overt as well as the subtle aspects of workplace interaction. For instance, Americans often value directness and assertiveness in communication, which might differ from norms in other cultures. But be mindful of cultural nuances like small talk, punctuality, and the balance of teamwork and individuality. So, in your interviews, you also want to convey that Well, you definitely want to be punctual for your interview, but you also want to convey the balance of teamwork and individuality in speaking about yourself and your relationship with others. These nuances can greatly impact your work relationship and how you progress. Do not be afraid to ask questions or seek mentorship. You definitely want to ask questions in the interview settings. Number one, it shows that you have done your research. It shows that you are interested in the job. It shows that you are interested and engaged in the process. So you definitely not just want to ask questions, but you want to ask appropriate questions for your industry. You want to learn from your colleagues and your mentors about these workplace norms and the expectations. This can be incredibly beneficial. I can't stress this enough. Transitioning from survival to thriving as an immigrant involves definitely that multifaceted approach. You want to have strategic career planning, continuous skill development, and develop an understanding of the work culture. Remember that your journey is unique and your experiences bring diversity and strength to the workforce. You have to give yourself some grace and embrace all of you as you navigate your path to success. Again, to my first and second generation immigrants, remember that the road from survival to thriving is paved with persistence, resilience, and informed strategies. So if you're ready to transform your career from just surviving to thriving in 2024, you can contact me today at the link in this profile. I'll also add the link to the chat. But you really want to start focusing on, you know, I can't walk and chew gum. Here you go. Right? You really want to schedule your personalized consultation where we dive directly into your unique career path. We identify the challenges you are facing and we craft a tailored plan that leverages your unique strengths and addresses your specific needs. So, whether you're navigating a new job market, seeking to advance in your current role, or you're exploring entrepreneurial ventures, our expert guidance will empower you to achieve your career goals. Do not let uncertainties hold you back. You can ask a question, and you can ask that question of me or anyone at AdnoDocs. So contact us today to embark on a journey to a more fulfilling and successful career. So I've added a link to the comments, and your thriving career begins now. So thank you for joining us on the Career Thrivers Show. Stay tuned for more insights and strategies to help elevate your career. I am very excited about the direction we're heading in 2024. Thank you to everyone who have responded to my invitation to be a guest on the show. We're totally revamping the show. My team and I are putting together really great information for first and second generation immigrants because we are not just about surviving, we're about thriving. So until next time, keep striving for excellence in all that you do.